If you can punish a teenage girl for spaghetti straps, you can enforce a mask mandate. Masks are a mandatory part of the 2020 to 2021 school year dress code. Look, I solved the problem in one sentence. I can think of only two explanations as for why they don't mandate masks. Either they're too chicken shit to confront right-wing nutjob parents, or they're right-wing nutjobs, themselves. I swear this headline was word for word a comment in the subreddit yesterday. LOL, these fucking prudes care more about suppressing teenage sexuality than they do keeping the kids healthy and safe. Imagine that, the Republican Party was taken over by evangelicals and decades later they don't give a fuck if kids die in a deadly pandemic, but you better not look sexy while doing it. Goddamn this. As a woman who had to deal with rulers to measure my shorts, it's pathetic to see schools try to say they cannot enforce masks. Things I got in trouble for in high school, in the 90s. Asterisk spaghetti straps. Asterisk short shorts. Asterisk blue hair, my mother dyed it, in fact. Yet I got in trouble. Asterisk a domed punk bracelet. Asterisk a straw hat worn for Go Western Day. Asterisk we weren't allowed to have more than one piercing in each ear either. Yet, no, masks are a step too far. The fact that we're here, in August, with over 5 million cases and over 160,000 deaths, it by far the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen as an American. And in fact, we can't even trust these numbers because the administration is sidelining the CDC, that's the Center for Disease Control. If you're unaware of why, that's mind-boggling. It's shocking because a competent leader could have handled this. A competent leader could have received the intel briefing in November, before this was on our radar at all, and mobilized. A competent leader could have worked with China on medical research immediately and begun studying the disease so that we knew what we were going to see if it came to our shores. When we had our first cases, a competent leader would have addressed the nation. They would have told us that we're all in this together, that we need to put aside our differences and face this common threat that will impact you whether you are a Democrat or a Republican or anything in between or beyond. They would have congressional leadership to the White House to strategize an aid package that would allow Americans to endure a shutdown. They would have devised a national testing strategy and guidelines to ensure we knew exactly how many infections we had per state rather than allowing some states to fudge the numbers and hide infections. The competent leader would have had to admit that our stocks of PPE were too low, that we relied too heavily on cheap labor overseas, and would have worked with businesses to convert factories to make supplies. The competent leader would not have toured the factory without a mask for a photo op, endangering the production of these precious and direly needed materials. A competent leader would have told Americans that masks were absolutely necessary to curb the spread of the virus, and would have coordinated with businesses and the USPS to mail kits to every household so that they could make their own masks in order to protect their families and their communities. A competent leader could have stopped this. But we do not have a competent leader. So here we are, in August, debating whether a school has the capacity to enforce a mask policy. This is, I think, the greatest failure in leadership in the history of the United States, and it's still getting worse. Schools love rules that can't be argued logically. It works on kids but not so much for the public. Removed. I remember the administration actually chasing kids down in the hallway to ensure they adhere to the mandatory identification badge policies our school district had. At the time, us students found it to be oppressive. Looking back, I think my high school at least would have probably been pretty on top of mask mandates. I was the kind of kid in high school where if they tried to say they couldn't enforce a mask policy, I'd have taken off my pants just to prove them wrong. It's such an obvious lie. If you can ban Heelys because they were unsafe for kids, you can make masks mandatory. This country is so full of selfish idiots. It's nauseating. Fucking ludicrous that the principal would say this is a personal choice, I can't do anything about it. It's not a fucking personal choice. You spread disease without a mask. Fuck that guy. It's way too late now, but it was a huge mistake to market masks as something that protects the people around you. Americans don't fucking care about one another. If they had went with something like if you don't wear a mask you are more likely to get sick. And likewise, if you can arrest a woman for a thong, then you can enforce face masks in public. https://www. youtube.com/watch, v=f09cxy38g. Never thought I'd be happy not to be an educator because a lot of educators are probably not going to make it through the year. What a time to be alive. Maybe if they only made women wear masks, they would feel that level of control was appropriate. But punishing for not wearing a mask doesn't afford the admin the chance of humiliating a young girl/woman and robbing her of her education for the day. So, it can't be done. In high school, I got in trouble for wearing a Bart Simpson t-shirt. This was in the 80s. I also got sent home for having a pierced ear. I had to wear a band-aid on my earlobe for my entire senior year. If you don't believe in a mask mandate, then you must support freeing the nipple and public nudity everywhere. When I was in school, a girl got sent home cause her sweatpants looked too much like sexy PJ pants. Fuck this can't set a mask rule bullshit. What if we gave people spaghetti to wear masks? I still don't understand how this fixes the issue. Kids will not simply follow the rules on this issue. It will be just like phones or vapes in most schools, not like dress codes. You can't remove spaghetti straps or open-toed shoes or hairstyles. You can effectively punish and police kids who break these rules because they can't be quickly removed or hidden when a faculty member is around. This is not the case with masks, since kids will just pull them down under their chin the second they are in the clear for n number of reasons. The reason schools suck at policing things like vapes and phones is because they can be hidden so quickly. Every school in the country has a no vaping and no phone policy, yet if you go to any school in the country you can find kids vaping and using their phones between classes. If you think schools are magically going to have the resources to crack down on masks when they can't even keep kids from vaping in the bathroom, I don't think anyone is thinking practically about this issue. How about all the places of business that post signs, no shoes, no shirt, no service? It's no fucking different, but Trump didn't politicize that. Oh no, a girl in a spaghetti strap might slightly arouse a young man. Banned. Oh no, a person without a mask might be more likely to spread a deadly disease with no cure. Asterisk well, that would be impossible to enforce you see. Asterisk. /s. Oh man, I remember the spaghetti strap drama when I was in high school back in 2007. My wife literally said the same thing this morning about her experience in high school. When thousands of people march in the streets with signs saying resign or hang, resigning starts to look pretty good. As someone who went to a high school in the US where girls had rulers slapped against their thighs to measure skirt length to make sure it wasn't distracting and boys were routinely disciplined for not having their shirts tucked in. Stop. I don't want to hear how masks are unenforceable, because I know for a fact that it's a lie. Don't treat me like I'm an idiot. Why are parents sending kids to school to begin with? My female shoulders were more dangerous than COVID apparently. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.